Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You may feel a little bit rushed. You may seem like it's a little bit early, but it's not as early as it should be, because look at that sky. It is absolutely beautiful. And sorry, that wasn't on me at all. Down by Scarborough Bay on the North Bay, and down here to capture some photography. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in the Scarborough area. I'm not going to say where I may be going next, but yeah, don't know how long we're going to be in the Scarborough area. So I figured it was a good time to come down to the North Bay and check out probably one of the more popular locations for landscape photography in Scarborough. It's very windy, so if you can hear wind noise on the microphone, I am very sorry, but I have to say, the Rode Mini Micro Go probably just added loads of words in there that didn't need to be there, but pretty fantastic, to be honest. Like, really, genuinely. Anyway, gonna flip into hyperlapse, and then, yeah, let's see what we find on the beach. Oh no! What's happening? How have I already got to that? Oh my god, what an absolute idiot. So, that brings us to here. Yeah, I've been an absolute massive plonker, and I have forgotten to change my settings back to hyperlapse. So, with a little bit of B-roll that I shot on this, and a little bit of magic that I'm going to create right now, fingers crossed, it's going to still be a good vlog. But this is very unprofessional, so I think I'm going to head downstairs.
Oh, there we are, much better. Again, apologies if that light is really harsh. I'm in the shadow. I've done my best. I have done my best. Well, that was daft, wasn't it? Leaving your camera in hyperlapse. What an idiot. But anyway, so I'm still going to try and create a nice vlog and do my best to, you know, make something a little bit special. Okay. So luckily I did decide to film all of my compositions and my choices on the compositions with you. So I had a backup camera recording information, so that's very much good news. So it's not all lost. Okay, so where were we? We were heading across the beach following a time lapse. Not a time lapse, sorry, a hyperlapse. And I came along and I found these little rocks, and you wouldn't believe it, these two beautiful golden retrievers came flying along, and they decided that they were just gonna chill out and come across and have a little play. So that perfect section of sand almost got ruined. But I'm going to jump to the clip where I explain my composition and why.
So I've got this little arc of sand coming around this way, into that top rock, into that bottom rock. It just is an absolutely beautiful pattern. Out to sea, I can't quite get the rising sun central. So I'm going for the fact that it's a beautiful band of clouds and I've got light across them, and it's just really quite...
So the composition, it went beautifully. I'd have liked to have the sun centralised, but I was very aware of this little bit of land getting in the way, and I didn't want that bit of land to get in the way. I took my first exposure for the highlights and the information in the sky, and then my second exposure was for the details in the sand. And I love the way the sand swept round into them rocks. Absolutely beautiful. My next composition, I headed over to this little section of water, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to get a shot with the castle, and I wanted to get a shot with the sun in the background, but obviously the sun was over here, the castle was over here, so I had to go for just this little bit of light in the clouds. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you the video now where I explain my composition and why I chose it. There they are. And I will edit them out because they're a bit of a distraction. But I've kept the rock kind of heavy on the right, coming across to the left, but ultimately pointing in towards that castle. I like the water, I think that makes a really nice touch, and it's not super colourful above the castle, but there's a nice light in the air, which I'm hoping is going to illuminate that castle and make it stand out that little bit more. But again, super simple composition. I've got my polarizer off. Yeah, I'm going to go for off. I quite like that reflection. So the composition, super simple, and it would have been nice if I didn't have that section of sand across. I exposed for the water, I tried to get a nice long exposure so I can get as much information in them rocks. And you see the rocks just off to the left hand side. I am definitely going to take them out. They are not going to be in the final image. It's going to be the one section of rock, the water, the sand, the castle. And for the castle, I did a slightly longer exposure to try and get some information in the hillside, and then again lowered my exposure to get that information in the sky. I'm really happy with how the video's going, and it is absolutely a beautiful morning. It really is. Okay, and then finally I headed down to the sand to try and get a shot of the water coming around and into that rising sun, hoping that I might get some good rays or something. And what I'll do is I'm going to play the little clip where I explain what I'm doing and why I've chosen that shot. So I've got this little bit of flow down in the bottom corner. I'm not 100% if I like it. I've got the sun out here, and I've got these lovely So for that shot, when I was shooting it, I really underexposed for that sky. I wanted a really dramatic, colourful, red sun with beautiful clouds. I really wanted that. And then I tried a similar shutter speed, but raising my ISO to capture the water moving around. And then I gave it another go, and I went for an even longer exposure to try and soften that water. And you can see the images to the right of me as I'm talking away here. And at the moment, I'm still not sure which one will be in that final edit. So stay until the end, because it'll be worth to see how these images turned out, because I'm filming this before I've edited them shots. So I'll put the video together, then edit the shots, and then you'll see the edited images at the end. So stay for that, for sure. Stay for that. But yeah, massive dope that morning, not changing my settings back from hyperlapse to video. Hopefully that'll be the first and last time I do that. So my thoughts for this week, before I send you guys onto the photos that I captured. Yeah, check your settings. Even when it's really early in the morning and everything's kicking off, take that extra little bit of time to check your settings. Don't get caught out like I have, because I look like a muppet right now, having to change how the video was edited and put together, and having to do this bit now in front of you guys. You know, it would have been much better on the beach. But the morning of photography went really well. I'm really happy with my images. The sunrise was beautiful, and yeah, now I've got loads of hyperlapses. I hope you've enjoyed them. But I think that's going to be all from me this week. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. It isn't as it was planned, and hopefully next week it'll be back to normal, unless I'm a muppet again and forget to change my settings. But have a lovely week, and I will see you next week. Peace out.
talk all the time, you'll never hear what anybody else has to say. And therefore all you'll have to talk about is your own conversation. The same is true for people who think all the time.